Kevin Akobadu Taylor abusia sese de wa bawura eye NPP headquarters na ensem a wato de amane eye the minority leader no abusuafo me pese yekọ na yekọ ekotie nene de na Afenyo marking why ne this time de ensem na waka akire eye Kevin Akobadu Taylor enne Kevin atumi asane agunu so sawa expose no a chese ensem a Kevin aka akire eye Alexander Afenyo marking abusia ensem no ano eden kasa me boboso a ebia na abusia me hu ensem ne kayeti pese me no mienu yekọ na yetie adokra Afenyo marking aye ene ade a Kevin so aye a abusia omumienu enne our Love Silence TV enya sem ketwa yintie ne masese ha era so aye be media je chebese wase ene de dika wadi channel so ni de no kwan so be media bese wase be subscribe be like na wabo aso asan for person be tie no anya be tie yintie nkoma Kevin wadi ni ne e masese ha yedase
obi a wadi boni also ko jail no he needs to go to jail power sesa o chirechi a munchi obi antum kwase asembe no na fighting the corruption here the same ye di mo atema mo say ye mu ade unimi age aka krebe me di 50 years kwasia unimi age uhwinim aka krebe me di 50 years o to say Kevin Taylor small boy na obra mabo bi mo bodam. A politician needs to respect himself, and so ambunu ho a ye be di natem and no fool can speak then obey me wi awade o me nko wi a obi bia me mbo kro no. I am telling you say a politician will do with ni chin we Jimmy. And that guy is a typical example of a fool. Now, a whole political party, you had this number in parliament. Akwa we didi konkonsansa abe ye kumi abe any leader ever seen there. Where you nipa almost over half of your party almost you lose elections. Now, mwe Jimmy Timothy no didi akwa which hey leader, hey way or hey, Jimmy mo petu me. Football team 3rd division for Krampo H and Yombu coach. Akwa odi manimu we Jimmy. Ya catch them. You consistently follow this fool. It's just to scream. All that he does is he pulls his dick out and follow Tokonu and say, Tokonu come to power. Tokonu come to power. Pissing himself off. Every day, watching the quarter and Tokonu come to power. You think Tokonu Ghana belongs to her? Tokonu, you didn't think Ghana belongs to her? Yeah, oh yeah, and a home for solo, and nobody can impose Tokonu on anyone in Ghana. Yes. O araba Tokonu na kwa yere papa ye man no. Also na paro bi ozeb na watch quarter and Tokonu beba Tokonu beba CJ. Tokonu, you think you are stupid in this country? What Tokonu deserves is what she's gotten. We are not going to entertain foolishness. Unya to me but today the law needs to apply. Whoever is found guilty needs to go inside. More bottom. After this short break, we will continue the show. We are going to kill another Jandam.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals. Hey, and this in Pamuchoma Mamutimu Yamudimuna Moa Payamuntia, and you're my koso. And you're my koso. And if you are not careful, and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. Yeah. In fact, the fight against corruption, because they are more weakened. The Nolly prosecutor and the fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
And it weakens your base.
The bull fruit is so. Time of the radio CEO, because you're from your way. Kronon, these two people. Bribe called Ghana Mujina. Actually, I'm appointee B position. No one says the car on Honam Tataron said in some cruise you. As some can answer be the womb. My president, man, a chrono costo, corruption costo. What is your job? What is your job? Oh, my meno papa no mutitin gracia, I will say, oh, think I hear you, Mamono. What is your job? Now, what do I say? Corruption costo. Now, I know, corruption, baby, what are you trying to create here? Impression, man, I will create. And a president in what is your job? Since about we about power, and for you've not been able to bring one document. You know why? Because you have nothing. When there's nothing, you want to force something. Why do people want to force corruption? When there is nothing, you can bring anything. The issue is, if you want to say corruption, because what you understand? Why will you say contract or on sorrow to so over tonight as empa okasana to for follow the document and bring them and show to Ghana way. If you are saying corruption is cost, then you are involved. Because the corruption costs now some person can be a wa. Now you're cromfo mumienu. Then if you know that there's corruption going on and you cannot as a journalist, also you're some troni. Also you're some troni. Oh dear, oh you're kwatibeka. Sebio, uno telepe. Oh you're kwatibeka. Now what you man is saying, what say when you say corruption costs, what is your job? Why are you sitting in the studio and telling Ghana for President Mudi Bweko position? The question is, where is the corruption? You are sounding like you know where it is. Why don't you bring it out? Speculation. Journalism where we are Ghana speculation. Now, he went ahead to say, a year the nolly prosecutor, a ban will buy a cases be with him. But the issue here is, if a case does not hold ground, why should the Attorney General go through the case? Go ahead with the case. The same thing I will say, the Attorney General, will discontinue cases. We are talking about how many people facing trial now. Until you are saying, the fight against corruption. The fight against corruption, this government is doing well. Because you know why? How many people are standing trial today? You are talking about cases they came to meet and did not continue. Now, how many people too are facing trial today? Oh, you are looking at only the right hand. Look at the left hand and do your assessment. Logically, you are not making any sense. The government came to power. They looked at some cases. They feel those cases, from the evidence deduced from it, it does not hold any power. They discontinue the case. This same government has over 70 people standing trial now. Some have even been there in the history of Ghana. 1 year jail, 25 years for Galamsey. But you put now what? I want to tell a part two. Oh, because you want to create problems where there are no problems. You want to create an impression. Now, enkrana wotina obitias enkrigwa try say what didn't no crime no unim corruption na out and we wi. Only omo na ebo. Omo a o say omo corrupt na John Mahama bedu no later no. O ye kromfo okomo usika. Omo wi sika ma wo. Omo ma usika sha wo ho. Ene jan ntumi nka no. Nti unim say omo wi sika, but because they give you money no untumi nka. Hey, corruption ekoso. Listen to this twerp. Mo jimi na it is radio so.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals, Hey, NDC mpamuchoma mamutimu nyamude muna mo apa muntia. And you're my koso. And if you are not careful and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. In fact, the fight against corruption, because they are more weakened. The nolly prosecutor and withdrawal. And it's the fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
And it weakens your base.
What kind of analysis or tell it to do? Analysis better than this. About power. Is this the first time a Attorney General filing nolly prosecutor in Ghana? Let's go back to Apachino time as Attorney General. Is this the first time in the history of Ghana Attorney General Biaba office case way they want to discontinue it? Is this the first time? But in the history of the Republic of Ghana, see that the fight against corruption, the NDC, they have done well. Because in the history of the Republic of Ghana, no Galamsey Kingpin has been jailed in the history of Ghana. See that 20 years. In the history of Ghana, this is the first time about 60 people are standing trial for different kinds of corruption. You sit there, now I want to tell a party, no, you are not making sense. Look at the thing with some reason. You are talking like corruption. Hey, NDC for corruption, you cause so. Now, corruption, I don't know, because corruption is also the only one can want to commit crime. Now what to work say corruption, that means you are speculating. If you are not speculating, then you are involved. But only say corruption is also. CEO say amokomo birthday parties ko komu fie no omo no maboma no omo musika enitira butumi nka into betena corruption dey because o ka ho. But so can ho as a journalist who is legit in discussing issues, you will point out and show evidence. When I was exposing the NPP, I didn't come here to just speak. I showed you documentations. Why can't you do that? Because politicians and the chess cano and it's on to me cano. Because what stops you from exposing the corruption? Because that's your job. You are the gatekeeper. You are supposed to expose them. But you sit here and you speculate. If you are not speculating, if you are not taking money, tell us who is corrupt in this government. Edian kwasia journalism no. Corruption equals to who only obi you form you no to me ko appointees wako jiska. Mo appointees wako jiska debia. Mo appointees wako jiska debia. So you are scared to talk about them. Because some of you have contracts in this government. Who obi ni omahine. Mo appointees wako jiska. Someone said they are legitimate. Why can't you mention? Because if somebody is stealing, why can't you do it with documentations to prove a point, to let Ghanaians know say Juma o yeno and yet because of obi na no kora person di uye wi or telepart too. Obama say alewa otitwa kan kwasi asem, and this is the kind of journalism they have done for years. Speculative journalism. Speculative journalism. Yanki kansam aban waso kwade obi wie sika. That's fine. Where is your evidence? Aban waso kwade obi wie sika. Where is your fucking evidence? Motete Ghana na kwasi asem na mo sai man. Ye bia mic tuma or funche bia person kasa. Tell me, because you are thieves, you are criminals, because you are taking money from appointees and ministers, because they are giving you money, you are scared to mention exactly who is involved in the corruption. Why should I be scared of a politician, an appointee who is involved in corruption? Why should I be scared? It is because you are thieves. We are before. So you are always speculating. Then stop people from saying it. Now let me kill another jandam, the same two stupid dogs.
One other reminder was here, and it's been almost 2 years in this administration. If you take out the economic performance, credit will go to the finance ministry as fiscal managers, NABA Bank of Ghana as monetary policy managers, and the agencies under the Ministry of Finance, for example, into Obebo Gold Board and all of those other agencies. Economic performance is stellar. I mean, inflation, abaform, CD to the other currencies relatively are very stable. It is difficult to now then point to any other sector because in the last 2 years BB way abayino aya what that monumental effect it will be difficult. I think it's one thing the president may have to also watch, because yes, on the economic front, fantastic. He promised he will reset the economy. I think as far as the macroeconomic indicators are concerned, but people have raised issues about its effect on the macro, on the micro, amount for
the bigger one.
Yes, in the bigger one, the effect on the smaller one. We can have an argument, but I think generally on the economy, fine. But when you go outside of that, now Opesa will pinpoint any other thing for the past 2 years now. Yes, he would say it's a big push. It will be one. Yasuso nyomani bebre soa. Inti kakran kiti bebre and share dan crystallize inti you don't really see the effect of a lot of the things and I think that is one thing so was all man penny was anyasa people will go like was there so be a throw baby in say o man penny will buy apart from inflation
me see obi omo to nyom te said ye obusa MPP omo the free SHS sa no mo to dwom no omo to dwom. And when you put in these reminders, they become upset. They become upset. See, we will continuously put in these reminders, and then you can keep getting yourself upset. You chose to lead. You chose to govern. You came to us campaigning. In fact, pleading and begging. Why is it difficult for you when we put in reminders of Nyoma Wankasa, Nyamin and Besau? And Nyoma Wankasa?
Yeah, but
what is it? Oh. Now, what does it come well, then, Nobi, an admission is not any challenge thing. Now, we are one more come court here. Moses obey honest person now, council Mukana, and some to Temkana, judge, you be investigate, will be I don't know, and the queen, of course. And does he say any idiot, Obi? A lot of.
But what kind of journalism is this? What kind of journalism is this? Do you have to be heard? Do you have to say something? What's the 2 million Obi? What the 2 million in 4 years? Open monumental project. What is monumental project? when you started speaking, you singled out the finance minister. Obviously, we all know the finance minister is working well. The idea of the say they want to undermine the rest of the ministers. And let me be honest here. As much as the finance minister is doing well, if that money he's making, he does not send it to the ministers, the finance minister's work will be waste. Do you know that? So after forcing now after forcing after the budget, we release this to the various ministries. After forcing, with all due respect, will be inefficient. And everybody is going to blame him. The same thing we were blaming Ken Ofori-Atta. Because Ken Ofori-Atta took the money and kept it. So nothing was going on. But you people cannot tell me that you are seeing nothing at other ministries. What kind of deliberate nonsense are you people doing? If there's nothing to talk about, don't talk about anything. Because you can go to the health ministry. You see what they are doing. You can all see. The foreign affairs ministry. We are seeing what Okudata Blakwa is doing. The roads are being built in Ghana. In the history of Ghana, a road is being constructed from Accra to Kumasi highway, alternative to what is being built. We are talking about other ministries, a Greek ministry. We are seeing the impact. What are you talking about? What monumental thing are you talking about? Say, abandoned and Sakikawi. Because that is why we have ministers. That is why a government comes in, a president comes in and say, whoa, sheweso, whoa, sheweso. That is why they read budgets. That is why even within the budget, some ministries get more money than others because we have to prioritize. We have to make sure, say, nobody be there, move faster, change. You yourself, Obi, when you were speaking, you were saying, say, dot development around. Maybe it's about to crystallize. What do you mean by that? It means you gave the government 4 years. Now, when you are constructing roads, does it take 2 months to construct a road with Jimmy? When you are building a hospital, does it take 2 years to build a hospital? When you are basically, as a health minister, as an agric minister, when you are building a market, 24-hour market, does it take 2 months to build a market? So you yourself, you have answered the question. It needs to crystallize. That is why we didn't give them 2 years. We gave them 4-year mandate. So when you give a government 4 years and the government comes in and the finance minister is the only one that you can say he's working at, without the people who are also ministers making sure they are put it to use, the finance minister can never be effective. Now, as much as the finance minister is working effectively, which we all agree, he has done everything possible, physically, everything nice. We respect him for that. He is very good at his job. You cannot run down any ministry because you can go ministry by ministry and you can see the impact. So, in the history of Ghana, 5,000 kilometers of road. But today we are building new roads. Where are those roads? So it is not about you people sitting there and trying to make sense.
Afenyo no no so a ocean so unsubscribe and like and share dwumadi e ma afofo so ensa entumi enke so Afenyo no ensa pina e so egudu ayen ko tensem no so Afenyo no so.
Stop this kind of journalism. Stop this kind of journalism. Oh, apart from the finance ministry, we all know Atu is excellent. We know Atu is doing the job. But the issue is, if Atu gets the money, if revenue is made, and Atu gets the money and does not give it out, how are you going to say Atu is working well? It is the money that Atu puts out there for us to see the work being done, see the roads being constructed, see the hospitals being constructed, seeing other things being done. And then the market says Atu is doing well. So don't sit there and run down every minister foolishly and say, oh, maybe the things are going to crystallize. You know that we don't take a year to build a hospital. You know we don't take a year to build a road. You know so for you as a journalist and calling yourself a lawyer or something, you need to think beyond being a petty commentator. You need to be like, okay, now I'm going to say finance minister Ayade. Apart from that, now you ask yourself, finance minister, where does he get the money? Now you ask yourself, so all that things you are saying that they are doing spots and pots of things around. The question here is, you yourself will say crystallize. As such saying, it means when we give it time, it will all come together. So you wanted this government to come in and say, one budget here, the man road minister on your quani health. No, so I do you people are not intelligent to sit on radio. Because you see, you have gotten the opportunity to sound intelligent. So right now, because there are different kinds of projects from different ministries going on, we should stop because it has scattered all over the place. We should do what? We should call one minister, sports minister, Kosi Stadium 10. Health minister. You are not making sense. You people are just foolish. You are not making sense. Now listen to them again. This does not make any sense. What kind of journalism is this?
One other reminder was here, they can woman, and it's been almost 2 years in this administration. Man, if you take out the economic performance, credit will go to the finance ministry as fiscal managers, and the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy managers, and the agencies under the Ministry of Finance, for example, into Obebo Gold Board and all of those other agencies. Economic performance is stellar. I mean, inflation, abaform, CD to the other currencies relatively are very stable. It is difficult to now then point to any other sector because in the last 2 years, BB way abino aya what that monumental effect, no, it will be difficult. I think it's one thing the president may have to also watch, because yes, on the economic front,
what is bigger than a government coming into office moving fuel from 26 to where it is today? What is bigger than a government coming to power moving the dollar from 17 to 10? If that is not monumental to you, then you are not fit to sit behind that mic, because the price of fuel affects everything. It ripples down. Now, when dollar at the end of the day is weakened, it basically have positive impact on local businesses. So what kind of monumental thing do you want them to go and build a ship? You are stupid. Let me tell you, you deliberately mentioned Bank of Ghana. You deliberately mentioned Sami Jemfi. You deliberately mentioned the finance minister. But the fact of the case is, there are revenue generating agencies that are making these people work better. Yes, you can sit there and, with all due respect to the people you mentioned, fine, they are working. But the fact of the case, you cannot run down any ministry. You cannot make it look like, say, because without the other ministries, finance ministry, gold board, and the Bank of Ghana are ineffective. That's a fact. Then if these are the people who are doing a monumental thing, then it means let's shut down every ministry and let the 3 agencies work. It doesn't work like that. That's not the kind of argument or discussion we need to have. You are basically making people know only mean answer. It looks like people are doing PR work. No finance minister in Ghana today, nobody in Ghana today can doubt the work of Atu Forsen. Solid guy. Nobody in Ghana can question Atu Forsen's work. Nobody in Ghana can question Sami Jemfi's job. Nobody in Ghana can question the Bank of Ghana governor's job. But the question here is, without the other people working in collaboration with them, their work is not going to be effective. And that is governance. And Gold Board, Bank of Ghana, no finance, or it doesn't work like that. So if you are looking for a monumental job, what is bigger than the dollar going down? What is bigger than the fuel going down? Because fuel going down, it is the effective work done by the energy minister. For health facilities to be working effectively, it is the good job that the health minister does. When you talk about people not dying on our roads, it is the effective work Abuja does. We are talking about different ministries working in hand, because revenue collection is coming from all these avenues. It ends up on the table of the finance minister, and then it goes back for developmental work. So how do you sit on TV, on radio, and let it look like nobody is working because maybe you have favorites? The nonsense should stop. The Majisika Beka should fucking stop. Munjai Sajibino, anything that's not near Dimatem. Go and see the work Tor is doing. Every ounce of day, every cent Tor makes, it goes to the energy ministry all the way to the finance ministry. So how can you say nobody's working? The finance minister is exceptional. We all know. Obianyampang can come Ghana man for the rest of our lives. But the issue is he needs to work with people. He needs to also coordinate with people. The Bank of Ghana governor is not working alone. He needs to make sure revenues that have been collected, he saves them and gives to the finance minister to deliver. So we are talking about different agencies working together. You cannot run any ministry down. You cannot do that. That's not journalism. That is not what we called for. That is not what we want as a people. You sit there. The government has been in power for just 2 years. Now you yourself in your statement, you say they will crystallize. What do you understand by crystallization of something? You mean when time is given, when they are allowed to work for the 4-year mandate we gave them, then we will get to the end. But you sit here and you yourself use the word crystallize, and you are still saying that you don't see any monumental project. for the past 8 years who say you can be Ghana, but at least in 2 years you will see a Jukwan so Kumasi. Edian Kwasia journalism no mun jai sa ade no ma me kakranko di kakranko school me hwa me ma no that kind of journalism. Let's cut it short. Let's cut it short. We are seeing the effect. Go to the lands ministry, see the work Amakofi Boy is doing. See the work Amakofi Boy is doing with NIMOs. They are all over the place. Today in Ghana, I can mention ministry from ministry. People are putting in effort. You just want to bring some disagreement in the government. You just want to run down some ministries. What is monumental project? And it's also be see a cathedral. Multi cathedral a you were the same fool sitting there. You're Pentecost for you're support to Kufado's vision to build a cathedral. Cathedral dia cathedral yes asma yare but through Mahama care and they are building Catholic whatever heart clinics around the nation. Who am I? Well, what is the hotel? Wakuma yare basisia. Mahama cares. Omakuma yare hospital. What is monumental? We are talking about development. It can be small, but the impact on the people and the society. A coup for the MPP by a whole Nigerian hospital. They broke it down. Agenda 111. They could not put one to work. What is monumental? I didn't say a sunza. No, it's about its effectiveness. One village, one dam away. But you yourself are saying it is crystallizing. I can show you things this government is doing now and have a positive impact directly on the lives of people. We can have the argument in a day, and I can make the argument and make Ghanaians understand. Stop this kind of dirty journalism. Because you're event in a no, that nonsense should stop. Look at the issues and speak on the issues. Jesus Christ. And I'm
Yama o kwan se be yejuma. Ejuma no want man ye. Obi a be yejuma yi na sese o tena abonten se yama o kwan ye ejuma no bi. Mengin de se Ghana for be penisa. Yama o kwan se be yejuma. Ejuma no want man ye. Obi a be yejuma yi na sese o tena abonten se yama o kwan ye ejuma no bi. Mengin de se Ghana for be penisa. Yama o kwan se be yejuma. Ejuma no want man ye. Obi a be ejuma yi na sese o tena abonten se yama o kwan ye ejuma no bi. Mengin de.
We jina mu yedede no. Aso we hotel your kitchen. We. I'm so I'm hotel ase no hotel say. Mo hotel enya no ho no mbo de bra. Amam 42 ma sledge ti omo yire no so. We say hotel aye den. Hotel de so no do yebi. Odo kan bro jina so. Asemesi. Sledge jina yire so de bia. We say hotel aye den. Hotel is on what ho. It's a crowd.